Dude, I just recorded for like 30 minutes just for it to have no audio. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Malachi here. Welcome back. I can't get over the fact that I did that. Oh my god. Anyways, as you can tell by the title today, we're just going to be talking about some more music that I found recently and some stuff that I've revisited. But yeah, so anyways, here recently I found a band called Turnstile. I'm not sure how familiar anyone who watches this is with them, but the other day I was at work and some people were playing them over the speaker, and I was like, I really fuck with how this sounds. And it was the song Dull off the album Never Enough. And then right after that, they played Alien Love Call with them and I'm not sure if it's a band or a person or what. It's Turnstile and Blood Orange. And I really enjoyed that song a lot too. I like Dole a little more just because well, the vibe of both of those songs is pretty different, so I guess it would really just be like time and place dependent. But for me, Dole, at least like if I were to listen to either one right now, I would pick Dole just because of the sound and everything. But overall, I think the album is fantastic. Songs like Light Design kind of gave me some vibes of like current era's Tame Impala, and if y'all don't know, I love Currents. So that for me was like just chef's kiss. It was great. No complaints there. Same with songs like I Care. It had a fair amount of synths on it, but as y'all know, I love when people blend genres and make it sound fluid and like it's meant to be like that. And it's not jarring, and I feel like they did a pretty solid job of that. And an odd comparison, but on the track Dreaming, there are these trumpets in it, and they're higher pitched, a bit of a faster tempo, and they remind me of some shit that you would hear from like a sunny or like a beachy Mario Kart track. And I can't tell you why. It just makes me feel like that. And I'm gonna throw this out there in hopes that somebody will know the song I'm talking about. On one of the songs off the album, Slow Dive, the guitar riff in the intro sounds like something that my dad used to listen to all the time when I was a kid. So roughly like early 2000s era. And I can't for the life of me figure out what the song, the riff reminds me of is, but it's been on the tip of my tongue and I just can't figure it out, and it's been bugging me so much. So if any of y'all know what song I'm talking about, please drop that down below. I did want to mention too that a couple of tracks off of that album weren't really for me, and it was just because of how repetitive they were. And the tracks I'm talking about are Birds and Seeing Stars. Seeing Stars, the ending, it just felt super repetitive, kind of like how Look to Windward does off of Even in Arcadia, the opener for that album, where he just says, will you halt this eclipse in me, over and over and over again. That's how Seeing Stars, and even Birds a little bit too, felt for me. The intro to Birds, again, was just super repetitive. However, after he gets done with that, like, the last half of the song, in my opinion, is really fucking good. I like it a lot. If I could take the intro out and just have the last half of the song, it would be like, it would be incredible in my opinion. Overall though, I think I'd give that album a solid like 8 out of 10. I really like it. I plan to listen to the album with the song Alien Love Call on it too. I'll probably do that at some point today, honestly. I've also been playing the fuck out of that Fatalism album by Polaris. I know I mentioned that in the last video I posted, but holy fuck, dude, it's so good. Y'all absolutely need to check that out if you haven't. My brother also sent me some tracks recently from a band called WSTR. It's all caps. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like an acronym or anything like that. But he sent me 3 songs. One was Bad to the Bone, and the other was Tell Me More. Those are both off of the same little EP album thing. It was called Identity Crisis, I think. For me, they were alright. I wasn't in love with either of the two. Bad to the Bone I did like more than Tell Me More though, just because lyrically and instrumentally it pulled me in more. And for me, the instrumentation is a huge factor for sure. But if the lyrics don't get me, or if I just don't enjoy them, I'm likely to not revisit the songs at all. Unless it's some lo-fi stuff. But even then, I've got to be in a relatively particular mood. The third song by them he sent me was called Jabo, all caps. I think that's how you pronounce that. I liked that one the most of the three. Pretty much for the same reasons I had listed just a second ago. Lyrically, I liked it a lot better. Instrumentation of it all, it was great. I'm still trying to get more into that like pop punk kind of stuff. While I do listen to stuff like Duck Boy, this was a bit harder in just terms of everything, really. He's always been more into that kind of stuff, and I've always been more into like the heavy metal type stuff and deathcore. I say always, but pretty much since we became adults. I also did go back to the album Noise by Ghostemane, and again, I may get flamed for liking Ghostemane, but whatever. I think his shit's is good. And I think aside from the track Ball Gag, it's like it's a no skip for me. That track is just a little cringe. The standouts for me though are Trenchcoat, Bonesaw, and Flesh. I really like those three a lot. Because even if I don't go back to that album and listen to it in full, I still play those three individually. And speaking of going back to things, I did return to the album Disguise by Motionless in White. I listened to it last night while I was in the car, and I have always held that album in relatively high regard. It's in my top 3 for sure. That and the album Creatures, depending on where I'm at, those two are my favorite. But yeah, I mean, I honestly forgot how much I enjoy that album. Aside from 2 songs being Another Life and Brand New Numb, not saying that they're bad by any means, because I don't think that they suck. They're not objectively bad songs in my head. They just feel a little too commercially and like made for the masses. So I tend to skip those, and that's really the only reason, is because it just feels like it was made for the public. And again, that's not bad. I want them to have songs that are more accessible for people so they get bigger and have more recognition and everything. And that's kind of how I feel about the majority of their album Graveyard Shift. My girlfriend fucking loves it, but I think that album, it has some good songs like Soft and Necessary Evil with Jonathan Davis from Korn, and then you have songs like Voices and Eternally Yours. So it's not all bad. 570's pretty solid. But for the most part, a lot of the lyrics are very cringe. I think that they leaned a little more into their cringe lyrics than they have on any other record. And for me, that puts it at the very bottom of the list. I was showing my sister some Lorna Shore songs yesterday. She's never really heard them before. And that's not really her type of music anyways. However, I was just sitting there like admiring Will and everything that he's able to do with his voice. And I was telling her that, and I was like, I know you're not into this kind of music, but like you have to hear this at least once. And so I played for her the ending of To the Hellfire when he sounds like a fucking Black Ops 1 zombie. She was blown away by the fact that he's able to produce those sounds with his voice, and I was like, same dude, it's fucking ridiculous. And I wish I was able to do stuff like that without royally fucking up my vocal cords. I did want to mention as well, because I'm recording this the day after Thanksgiving, I hope everyone did have a good Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone got to eat lots of good food and spend time with your friends and family. And I just hope everyone had a solid day overall. If y'all had to travel anywhere, I do hope that you had safe travels as well. Or if you're traveling today, just be careful and stay vigilant on the road. If y'all made it this far, I really appreciate it. Drop a like if you did. and subscribe for more if you enjoyed. And as always, comment down below what y'all have been listening to. I'm super interested in checking it out. And yeah, maybe we could talk about it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.